Let me talk as a Christian. Let me talk to our religious leaders. Somehow we have access to more people in Nigeria as religious organization more than any other organization. So I think that is why a lot of people look forward to churches, you know, to make change in the situation of Nigeria. And I totally agree with them. When you are given the privilege to have access to more people in the community, what you do matters a lot. Okay, and sincerely, if there is no peace in the nation where your church is, of course there can be peace even in your church, because you won't fellowship the normal way you fellowship. You won't do a lot of things you would have loved to do even as a church. We see that during the pandemic, when the pandemic was at its peak in nations, most especially Nigeria, our churches were shut down. So pray for the peace of Jerusalem, for the peace thereof becomes your peace. So you have direct access to millions of people as religious leaders. Let's begin the reorientation. Let's begin to stop blaming the government and start making moves. I made some posts and included some videos where I stated very clearly, and I still stand on that statement, on the idea that, you see, what our missionaries as Anglican churches or Catholic churches, the impact they made in Africa, including Nigeria, up till now we are still enjoying them. You can see CMS Grammar School, the one I know in Akoka, is still doing so well. One of the, you know, strongest schools, you know, St. Philbas also in Akoka. I grew up in Akoka, so I know a little bit of those schools, you know. And some of you that are our fathers, you went to these missionary schools. Imagine that we continued in that kind of spirit and orientation and mindset, and we begin to build schools and other things. See, the government will be more silent than you. Then you'll be able to make more influence and impact in people's lives. Impact is not just secluded to spiritual things. In as much as you are dealing with people who are a part of a citizen of a nation, definitely you are a part of the government automatically, even as religious leaders. What can we do without the government? I'm not asking any church to build any road. Please don't. I'm no longer, despite the fact that it is essential to support the families under our churches, you know, in one way or the other, but the kind of support that will never make them come back to keep asking is what we should spend time and energy on. We need to keep families rolling. We need to become examples for people. We need to. We think that the people are persecuting the church. Our loopholes in the church, they are too much. We have given room for a lot of persecution. There are a lot of religious leaders now that cannot say they want to talk and Nigerians want to listen to them because some of them don't even have integrity. Sincerely, I know there are wolves in sheep clothing. There was a Judas among the disciples of Jesus. As Jesus, as he was as our Savior, the all-knowing God, there was still a Judas in his camp. There are a lot of Judases on our pulpit. Okay, so I don't want us to blame the church, but just for as many that are truthful religious leaders, we need to also play our role. Beyond the prayers, we need to also play our roles. Make impact, enlighten families, make your contribution in the society. Someone was talking about that there was a location where there was no clean water. And the people there had to go very far, or they spend a lot of money on water. And some people approached the church. That, can the church please do a borehole for us? And do you know they did a borehole and they started selling the water? And they started selling the water. I was ashamed when I heard that report. So I pray it shall be well. Again, this is not the period to throw stones and blame anybody for what you're going through. Be in charge of your life. After you've handed it over to God, the one that God expects you to do, be in control. Don't loosely leave yourself to be led by anybody anyhow, and they do whatever they like to you, and you know, you think that you are being obedient, or you are being loyal. Loyalty is not equal to stupidity. It's not equal to slavery. I said earlier, if you have been under any leadership, whether even in your place of work, You have worked and collected salary for 25 years. You don't have a personal investment or something you fall back onto. If they lay you off because of the economic crisis going on now, sorry, for 25 years. And I don't know employers of labor who don't enlighten those. You see, you can use money to retain people that are serving and they are working, they are doing well and all those things. Encourage them to live a life of freedom. They will never, ever abandon you. Don't use cajole. Don't use all those stars to cajole them to you give them something little. When they finish it, they come back to you, and that's what you want. It shall be well.